Right now, when you hear the word Lightyear, you probably think of outer space or the film Toy Story. But soon the word Lightyear will be taking on a whole new meaning in the car industry. Today, I'm talking about the Lightyear Zero. It's the world's first solar-powered long-distance passenger car. I'll tell you now, it's not just a Tesla with a solar roof. Hop in as we walk through the ins and outs of the solar EV. I'll also talk about Tesla's patent to put a solar array on a Cybertruck and why Tesla and other EV makers should be keeping their eyes on the Lightyear. To say that there's a lot of hype around the Lightyear Zero is an understatement. So what's all the fuss about? To start off, the car's driving range is 388 miles, which is better than the average battery electric car, which does 230 to 260 miles. If we compare it to its competitor, the Tesla Model 3 long-range all-wheel drive, the Lightyear Zero offers 4% more range. But it's more than that. Believe it or not, the Lightyear Zero can be driven for weeks or even months without charging. Let's say you live in a sunny state like California or Arizona. You'd be looking at up to 7 months without needing to charge your solar car. The company promises up to 6,480 miles of additional range each year in the sunniest climate. But what if you live in Seattle, which is known to have far less sun than its southern neighbors? Well, if your average commute is 22 miles every day, you could drive your Lightyear Zero up to 2 months before you need to think about charging. And when you do want to charge the car, here's another benefit. With the Lightyear Zero, or Zero for short, you can use any power outlet, even your normal household source. Contrast that to battery electric vehicles where you're limited to charging stations, whether it's public or at home. Once you plug your car in, the Lightyear Zero can charge 21 miles of range per hour. The Zero can also fast charge at up to 323 miles, where there's available infrastructure to do so. But remember, the car gets its juice from the sun. The hood, roof, and liftgate have almost 54 square feet of patented double-curved solar arrays to absorb sunlight. The solar panels can give your car up to an additional 43 miles of range every day, whether it's driven or parked outdoors. That's not a lot, but at least it would cover the average commute. Plus, if you're stranded in the middle of nowhere, at least you can juice up a little bit even without an outlet nearby. So the idea isn't that the sun provides all the needed charging for the car, but the point is the car can charge slowly using daylight to extend its range and reduce how often you need to charge. So you can see why Lightyear says they've reinvented charging. The Zero is also unique from many other EVs in that it's the first production passenger car to use in-wheel hub motors. It's smaller and lighter for the power they deliver, and they eliminate the need for drive shafts and other components. The four motors combined output 174 horsepower and 1,269 pound-feet of torque. It can sprint from 0 to 60 in 10 seconds, and it pushes a top speed of 100 miles an hour. So it's clearly not a speed demon. Actually, it's less impressive when you compare that to Tesla Model 3 long-range all-wheel drive, which reaches 60 in 4.2 seconds. It can reach 145 miles an hour. If you ask Lightyear, they'll say they successfully developed the most efficient electric drivetrain ever. And doing so on a 60 kilowatt hour battery isn't easy. To put it in perspective, Tesla Model 3 long-range all-wheel drive runs on an 82 kilowatt hour battery. But because of Lightyear's onboard battery, you can get a solid 348 miles on a highway, driving at 68 miles an hour. And that's on a cloudy day when the sun's not even shining. By the way, this car is mirrorless. That's right, no mirrors. Instead, drivers get a screen on both sides of the interior where they can see each view via an exterior camera. Now, normally with concept cars in general, there's usually a slight latency or lag within the displays. So hopefully in the production version, there won't be this lag. But we'll just have to wait and see on that. All that aside, if you have a small garage, you no longer need to worry about swiping your side mirrors when you're parking because the company has already removed these mirrors for you. The form and shape of the Zero isn't just for looks, because of aerodynamics. Let me tell you why that's important. An aerodynamic design helps a car cut through the air, as it were, and minimizing the energy lost through air resistance. For the best aerodynamic results, you want a car with a low drag coefficient, which means less resistance. The lower the drag coefficient, the more economical a car becomes because it can drive further. Right now, the world's most aerodynamic production car isn't Tesla Model S or even the Lucid Air, but rather it's the Mercedes EQS. It has a drag coefficient of 0.20, and the Zero breaks the record there. It has a drag coefficient of 0.19. This makes it the most aerodynamic family car in the entire market. Aerodynamics is super critical when it comes to EVs because it impacts impacts driving range. Poor design means you get less driving range at the end of the day. And driving range is a hot topic for EV drivers. All this is to say, this is why the Zero looks the way it does. You can see it resembles a teardrop shape with a long tail. As it is, EVs already weigh considerably more than combustion engine cars. You'd think adding solar panels on top would make the EV car extremely heavy, but actually it's not so with the Zero. Right now, a typical gas-powered compact weighs between 2,900 and 3,200 pounds. Half the electric sedans on the road today weigh between 3,300 and 4,400 pounds, and some more than others, like the Mercedes EQV, which weighs 5,800 pounds. But the Zero, with the solar panels, weighs a little bit less than 3,500 pounds, so it's actually near the lower end of the scale when it comes to weight. Lightyear achieves a low weight because its shell is carbon fiber. What's remarkable is that this new technology is now possible due to a young startup in the Netherlands. It was founded by 5 Tech University students a few years ago. It all started when CEO and co-founder Lex Hofesloot, along with his 4 friends, were sitting in a kitchen and chatting about building the most sustainable car on the planet. That was back in 2016. At the time, it was simply an idea, a pie in the sky almost. But 3 years later, they had a prototype. Fast forward to a few years of development. Now finally, after 6 years, the Zero is ready. To these 5 men, the car is proof that the impossible is actually possible. The Zero is officially available for order right now, with its first delivery being this November. If you haven't yet heard about the Lightyear Zero, well, you're not alone. Initially, the Lightyear Zero was named the Lightyear 1. Why did they move back the digit? Well, it's not just that it sounded cooler, but they wanted to capture the essence of the company because true innovation starts from scratch, from zero. The Zero also represents Lightyear's aim for zero-emission future. But it's not just that. In science, a light year is the distance light travels in a year, or 5.88 trillion miles. The unit is used to measure vast distances in outer space. But as it turns out, they say 5.88 trillion miles is also about the same distance cars travel each year on Earth. The company wanted something minimalistic that captured movement, flow, direction, and purpose. The current logo also conveys the sun's continuous flow of energy and effortless movement. Lightyear CEO Lex Hofesloot believes that by 2030, we can expect 84 million EVs on the road. And that's just in Europe alone, not even counting the States or elsewhere. The problem is, most major AV companies have a lot of challenges and hurdles when it comes to scaling. For example, access to charging stations can't keep up with the demand for electric cars. Plus, 2, adding batteries to a car increases the carbon footprint on the manufacturing stage, which is counterintuitive. Batteries also increase the vehicle's weight and the need for high-power charging stations. That's why Lightyear's strategy is to deliver more driving range with less battery, which would reduce weight and carbon dioxide emissions per vehicle. But then there's also the price. Now, you can configure your Zero on the automaker's website, which you'll want to do if you're able to dial out the cash. But the car will set you back over $265,000. That's $250,000 in case you don't register that. It's extremely steep for a car that's in the equivalent category as the Tesla Model 3, which starts out at just 20% of that price. The solar technology in general sounds promising, but the price is a real kicker, especially considering this is the new launch and the car doesn't have a track record of reliability yet. That all said, the Zero is said to be proof of a concept, to show that technology is workable and also to gain real-world performance data on its solar panels. That's why the Zero is a limited volume production. It's scheduled to enter production in Finland this autumn, and first delivery is expected to be November. But there's a catch. The company will manufacture only a limited number, to be precise, just 946 units of the Zero. But the Zero is not coming to North America. The Lightyear 2 will be available in America in the future. The company has already started teasing the public about its second solar EV model designed for high volume production. Right now, the working title for the next vehicle is called Lightyear 2. This one will be a compact crossover, which makes a lot of business sense because crossovers are among the most popular cars. Believe it or not, Lightyear 2 is expected to start at $32,000. Far cry from Lightyear 0, to say the least. The affordable pricing will make the car a more realistic option for the general mass and help take the car mainstream, but it won't enter production until late 2020 or early 2025. Now, if you're thinking Lightyear 0 is the first solar car ever, well, that's not entirely correct. Would it surprise you to hear that the first solar-powered car was introduced more than 70 years ago? In 1955, a General Motors employee, William G. Cobb, demonstrated the world's first solar-powered automobile at the General Motors Power-Rama Auto Show in Chicago. This car was made of balsa wood, and it was aptly named the Sunmobile. Since it was just a 15-inch miniature model, needless to say, it couldn't be driven by a person. Although GM didn't continue to develop the concept, Cobb's model introduced the field of photovoltaics to a car show that was attended by 2 million people. Photovoltaics, science of converting light into electricity using specific semiconductor materials. It's a physical and chemical process. How exactly do solar panels work on a solar car? In general, a solar vehicle uses self-contained photovoltaic cells to propel itself using solar energy. Solar vehicles usually contain a rechargeable battery that stores energy from solar cells and captures kinetic energy from braking through regeneration. And the Lightyear Zero follows a similar approach. Did you know that officially Tesla filed a patent back last year involving putting a solar array on the Cybertruck? Now, technically, the Cybertruck is set to enter production in early 2023. Neither Tesla nor Elon Musk confirmed that the all-electric pickup will use solar panels. But then again, they haven't denied it either. For now, we'll have to wait until next year to see the actual truck. But it wouldn't be too surprising for a company like Tesla to explore the solar panel route. But now you tell me, aside from the price factor, do you find the solar car more interesting than the average battery electric car? Do you think Lightyear can beat Tesla one day? Please share by commenting below. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for your support.